Good evening, James.
Good evening, Buck.
It's time for another episode of the Mega Power Hour. What's up, everybody? We are back for a brand new episode of the Mega Power Hour. It's been a little while. Hold on. Let's do the intro right. It's me. It's the JATBB. And as always, I'm here with my co-host.
Superstar James starring the guy who makes the ladies scream until they cream.
That's right. A.K.A. Jamie Jam Garvin. Yeah, it's true. The rumors are true. We are back. It's been a few weeks since we had an episode. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it felt like years.
Yeah, it felt a lot longer than what it actually was, probably. But
yeah,
we actually needed to do a new episode, and the reason is there's a lot of stuff going on in the news, and I don't know if everyone's heard. There's a new thing in the wrestling community that's kind of taking everything by storm. It's all the rage. It's a brand new thing. It's a brand new company, if you will. Jamie, you've heard about this, right?
Yeah, I just caught wind of it, actually.
Yeah, so it's in the news. It's a big thing, so we need to talk about it. And that news is actually that the Mega Power Hour podcast has been remade. Mega Power Podcast 2.0 is happening, and it's real.
And it's going to be we're going to be twice as famous, I think. Mega Power Hour 1.0, or 1.0, as you would say, went from the USA all the way to Trinidad and Tobago. So who knows how far we'll reach out now.
Yeah, we actually reached, I think it was 15 countries.
Yeah. Over 1,000 listeners in 15 countries that's incredible. It's unfathomable.
Yeah. What we did, most people will never do in their life. And we accomplished that. And we had to stop for, life gets in the way. Jamie starts businesses left and right. I got stuff going on, so we had to stop. But here we are. We're back. And actually, we haven't done an episode. I think it's been over a year.
Yeah, it has.
And we actually started this podcast on January 22nd, 2014. And here we are, January 22nd, 2019, bringing it back 2.0, bigger, better, badder.
Yep, twice as famous. 5 years, 5-year anniversary. What kind of beer are you drinking right now? You drinking beer?
Yeah, of course I'm drinking beer. I'm drinking a PBR, and
PBR tastes like aluminum.
It's like heaven. Men they drink. Listen, men drink what they drink. I don't need to drink some beer that was brewed in a barrel in Scotland. God knows what you're drinking.
I got a few Rainiers. I do have one of my samples. I have a fridge full of beer. People just give me samples left and right.
Yeah.
So people just bring in all kinds of beer. Right now I'm drinking let me read it. A passion fruit, orange, and guava sour. From New Image Brewing. Yeah. It's pretty tart. It tastes good, but it's tart as fuck. Well,
as Jamie swigs down that guava beer, let me just talk for we haven't done a show in a while. This is going to be really kind of everywhere, all over the place, I'm sure. We're starting fresh. It's been a little while since we've done this, but honestly, this is something we talked about bringing back for a long time. And now I think is the perfect time because there's so much happening in professional wrestling. If you're a fan all over the world, there's not a better time to be a wrestling fan than right now. Would you agree, Jamie?
I agree 100%. There's so much news going on in the indie circuit. It's Royal Rumble season. Royal Rumble has always been my favorite pay-per-view since I was a kid. So Royal Rumble season's always excited. There's new federations starting. There's all kinds of shit. Plus, we did so much in 2018. It would take us probably a year to just talk about what we did in 2018.
Yeah, we honestly don't have enough time to talk about all of Jamie's accomplishments over the last year. Over his lifetime,
or all the vacations
over his
we
lifetime.
took.
That's a podcast on its own, talking about Jamie's accomplishments in his lifetime. But we're here to talk about wrestling. We're here now. Again, we haven't done this in a long time. I'm sure this is going to be all over the place. We're on a new app where our editing skills, we have to relearn all that kind of stuff. So bear with us, bear with our quality. And we're going to bring you some good analysis of professional wrestling. And we're going to have, of course, news from professional wrestling. We're going to cover shows. We're going to bring back some old segments, some oldies but goodies every now and then. We're going to be talking about old wrestling, new wrestling every now and then, probably hopefully once or twice a month. We're going to be reviewing old shows on the WWE Network. We just have a lot of things in store for everybody.
Yeah, pretty excited about this. This is going to be the number one source to find your wrestling news.
For sure. We know more than Google. Everyone already knows that who's listening. I assume the people who are listening at this point, 6 minutes in, who haven't turned it off, are people who were fans of the show before. I can think of about 10 people. So hopefully we got 10 people still here.
Yeah, I think we got about 10 people listening. I mean, Google will be listening because everything they say they have to enter in Google because they have to change all their stuff. So we already know more than it.
Yeah, we should get writing credit for Google. That's true.
Yeah. We're going to be saying things that they don't have. Google doesn't have.
So we've been out of the game for a while. Jamie, 2018, professional wrestling. What are some of your thoughts right off the bat when you hear that?
2018 professional wrestling, I guess pretty much what we did together. 2018, the indie scene popped pretty hard. A lot happened. We went to All In. We also went to WrestleMania in New Orleans. So those two huge wrestling, the two biggest wrestling events of the year, probably we were both at. That's probably the two biggest things that pop into my head. We can chat about Roman Reigns, AEW, the WWE TV deal. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I would agree with that. And, we were both at All In Chicago. And it was an amazing weekend. And, we went to StarCast briefly. We were able to meet Buff Bagwell and Scott Steiner. And it was incredible.
Yeah. And then, we didn't sleep through it. I know
no,
that much.
There's somebody who slept through it, and they know who they are. And if they're listening right now, they know what to do.
Yeah. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, you are a piece of shit. Moving on, I guess. So we went to StarCast. We met Steiner. It was incredible. And then, of course, the All In show itself was just the most fun I think I've ever had at a show.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to a wrestling show and started jumping up and down and screaming and throwing beers.
Yeah.
Because I was that excited.
Yeah, it was a fun show, which, of course, led to the creation of All Elite Wrestling, which is really what everyone's talking about right now. They've already built themselves a great roster. They have so much more to do, but they are going to be a big part of 2019.
Yeah, coming in just off the bat, that All Elite did things. They've already announced things that's never been done before in professional wrestling, right? Like equal pay. Well, first of all, let's define what is All Elite to you?
Well, so when I hear the Elite, and this has been a topic that's been discussed a lot. I've heard a lot of people talk about this, so I do want to clear it up. When I hear All Elite Wrestling, people are kind of upset because they're like, well, Elite is the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. But to me, All Elite Wrestling is going to encompass an elite group of wrestlers, which if you watch Being the Elite on YouTube, which is going to be a part of this, that doesn't include just those guys. It's a group of friends. It's a group of wrestlers who are all, have the same kind of creative mind. They all are on the same page when it comes to professional wrestling, and they want what's best for professional wrestlers, and they want to entertain fans.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Everyone's on the same page, and they're kind of ushering in the new wrestling, like a new phase in professional wrestling, right? Like it's changed a lot over the years, and every 5-10 years, wrestling, it goes through phases and changes, and these guys are kind of bringing in a whole new era. Getting into well, they signed with who backed them? Khan.
Yeah, so Tony
your
Khan
favorite
is putting $100 million in this. If you don't know about the Khan family, they own the Jacksonville Jaguars. They own Fulham Soccer Club in England. They have a lot of money, and they are putting $100 million into this, which is huge for a company like this, like a startup wrestling company. Is most of them? I don't think any of them start out with $100 million. So
not at all.
Right off the bat, they have a huge advantage.
Yeah, I mean, most of those companies start up with like 4 old-time wrestlers who have whatever money they have in their bank account, and then there's a lot of missed paychecks and stuff. But the Khans are wrestling nerds. They have a shitload of money, and they can afford to pay whatever they want.
Yeah, they have a lot of money, and they already have and a lot of interest. I mean, the roster, of course, the Cody and the Young Bucks are a big part of it. SCU, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, the Hangman Page, who is like one of the most talented young wrestlers. In 5 years, a lot of people think he's going to be the best wrestler on the planet.
Yep.
They got Pac, aka Neville. They got Chris Jericho, which is like amazing. What are your thoughts on that Jericho signed?
I mean, I like what it is because, I mean, Jericho's always been – I mean, I've always liked Jericho from the first hour of Nitro till the main event of Mania. Like, his whole career, I've always liked him. He showed up at All In as well, but, like, he's always been someone who is loyal and support. Like, he supported what he's been a part of. So, like, them getting – it's not necessarily Jericho, like, shitting on the WWE and leaving. I'm sure him and Vince are fine. Vince might be a little upset about it, but I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure he talked to him before he did it. He's respectful, and honestly, as far as like the indie scene of wrestling, when you look from like indie fans into the bigger world of like WWE, Jericho's probably the number one mark, right? Like everybody marks out for Jericho the most. So that's a huge signing. I mean, the fact that he came over and immediately fought Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom was just like, that was game changing there. Just a talent. I mean, he can still work. He's got to be getting, I don't know how old he is. He's got to be in his late 40s.
Yeah.
But he definitely can still work. He can be a poster boy and help launch AEW. Do I see him being there for 10 years? No. He still has a WWE Hall of Fame to go through and all that stuff. But I think he's a great poster boy to launch the company with. And I think he'll be with them for a couple of years, help him out, do what he needs to do, because he's smart enough to know that that's the future of wrestling.
Yeah, I think it's huge for them to get a guy like Chris Jericho. But, on the flip side of that, so there's all these great things. They have Chris Jericho. They have Buzz. I mean, Cody and the Young Bucks, the Being the Elite YouTube show, are like so big in wrestling right now. They have all this buzz. They have all this great stuff. They have TV deals lined up, supposedly. Everything's looking good. But listen, I'm the biggest Young Bucks fan around. I'm a huge mark for Cody. Cody's probably my favorite single wrestler right now. I'm super excited, obviously, but I'm also being realistic about this. It's going to take a few years for them to get to a certain place where they're, the Monday Night War thing, let's calm that talk down. They're a startup business, and we need to be patient and let it grow and not, expect too much too soon.
And to do it right, like they can't just, because I mean, we saw like WCW for instance, like when Eric Bischoff took Ted Turner's money and just bought everybody out, told them they could work less dates. Here's a shitload of money. You work less dates, come over here. It instantly made it a Monday Night War, but inevitably they lost because they didn't do it right. So we can stop the Monday Night War bullshit and even like the competition for now, because I don't think they're going to be straight picking off WWE guys to start off with. I mean, the most important thing that they're doing for me is, I mean, not so much, but basically creating a wrestlers union, at least to the point where they get health insurance. So they're going to get benefits. They're going to get health insurance. So what people don't understand about professional wrestling is you're, as a wrestler, like The Undertaker, as a wrestler, he signs a contract that makes him an independent contractor for that company. And as an independent contractor, he does not get any benefits. He doesn't get any health insurance. He has to pay for all that shit on his own. And that's the way wrestling has always been. So by them offering the benefits, they can offer benefits, pay a little less money. They don't have to offer these lifetime contracts to people, because people are going to come there because they know they get their health insurance. They know they get their stuff taken care of. And the equal pay, as far as like tiers goes, paying men and women the same. It is 2019. You got to pay everybody the same tier. So the women's champion, the men's champion will be making the same amount of money. The women's,
I mean,
low.
So here's the thing. Number one, the wrestler getting insurance thing isn't exactly true. So when you break that down, what it is a lot of guys who are going to be working in All Elite Wrestling are going to be in the like offices of All Elite Wrestling. In other words, like, so Tony Khan owns it, but Cody is vice president, and he's basically in charge of producing shows. And the Young Bucks are also vice presidents. They're going to be head bookers. And Christopher Daniels, I believe, got an office job. There's a couple of guys who are going to get office jobs. Those guys who are office positions and company positions will get company health insurance.
Right.
But not every guy is going to get health insurance.
I think they're going to get offered a benefits package, though, right?
Not at first, because it's a startup company. I think eventually that is something that they want to work towards. But, as a startup company, that's not an expense I think they're willing to take on.
Not off the bat. No. It's something where you got to work a certain amount of days, just like any job. Like, you work 60 days before you qualify for benefits, that kind of shit.
Yeah. And the equal pay, so the way they're doing that is, if you're somebody who's headlining the show, you're going to make headline money, no matter if you're a man or a woman. If you're on the middle of the show, you're making middle of the show money. If you're on the lower part of the show, you're making lower. So no matter, pay is going to be based on where you're at in the hierarchy of talent. And,
which is the way it should be.
Yeah, which, I mean, to be honest, like, they're saying this, and I think it's good for publicity to say, hey, women are going to get paid equally. But it's really not. I mean, if you look at where wrestling already is, I mean, Ronda Rousey is one of the highest paid WWE wrestlers right now. So it's really not anything different than what's already going on. They're just, taking advantage of wording and, promoting themselves, which is a smart idea.
Yeah, it's smart. And I like the way if they're going to pay, no matter what, if you're on the top of the card, you get paid. Like, it's just equal pay across the board, which is good. I mean, WWE does this. I mean, they had to set the boundary for the whole, like, women's push. I mean, they did the women's push and then immediately went to Saudi Arabia, which is hilarious. But, that's a whole other story.
Yeah. But when you look at 2018, the women's revolution was a big part of that. But, I mean, we're not going to break that down, because who gives a fuck about women wrestling?
Yeah. I mean, where were you going to spend your time during the women's rumble if we went?
In the bathroom. That's a bathroom beer break.
Yeah. Bathroom beer and a food break.
Yeah. Any match is a bathroom beer break. Everyone who ever been knows that.
Yeah. And, whatever. That's fine. No offense to the 3 women that are going to be listening. I'm sure you're all great wrestlers.
Yeah. So anyways, All Elite Wrestling obviously is very exciting, and it's very cool. I just hope everyone listening is patient like I'm going to be with it, because, don't expect, I mean, I'm not expecting them to, be anything anytime soon. Their first show is going to be in May. All indications point to me and Jamie being in Vegas for that. So,
yeah, I mean, I think did you get it? We need to call them back, actually, because we were pre-gaming for our podcast.
Oh yeah. But I don't want that to sound like an invite. If you're going to Vegas, you're not going to sit with me and Jamie. Me and Jamie are going to be backstage, or we're going to be in the press area with Meltzer.
Yeah. So, I mean, odds we'll probably be casting live. that day from there. But if you do go, let us know. Just shoot us a text. Don't bother calling. Just text us. Let us know. We might, I don't know, maybe we'll be out to sign sign an autograph or your program or something.
We'll probably have a table at Starcast. So, if you
yeah,
want to come
probably.
by, we'll give you a discount on an 8x10.
Yeah. And we know somebody will probably sleep through that as well. So.
Yeah, because he's a piece of shit.
He is a giant piece of shit.
Yes. Amen. So, so All Elite was cool. Another big thing in 2018 that's going to roll into next year is the WWE TV deal. So WWE signed a deal with Fox to broadcast SmackDown on Fox, which is huge. And Monday Night Raw will stay on USA Network, but both deals combined are supposedly going to be worth, over the lifetime of the deal, $1 billion, which is insane amount of money.
That is, I mean, that I don't even know what TV deals are close to that. That's not like, do you know what some of the NFL TV deals are?
So,
like Fox just signed the World Series. I think Fox just paid 10. I don't know. I don't want to quote it. It might have been just, I thought they paid like $10 billion to get the World Series for the next certain amount of whatever years, or maybe it was just $10 million. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Have to look up.
I'm not sure compared to other companies, and I'm also curious. It'd be interesting to see what the UFC ESPN deal was worth. But
yeah.
I mean, just for a wrestling deal, this impacts professional wrestling in the sense that WWE can basically offer anything they want now to talent.
Yep.
And if there's guys who, like, let's say Kenny Omega, and they want it, if they wanted to be like, hey, we'll give you $25 million because they can afford it, and they can keep him out of New Japan, keep him out of All Elite. They can hold all these people hostage if they want to.
Yeah, and I mean, it also allows them to not give a shit about ratings because it just doesn't matter, right? Nothing's gonna get canceled on a TV deal.
Yeah, so I just looked it up. The UFC ESPN deal is worth $1.5 billion, so a little bit more, but I mean, obviously that's on a grander scale.
So the Fox deal, Fox pays $525 million a year to get the playoffs in the World Series in baseball, and they just extended that through 2028. That's a shitload of money.
Yeah, and so WWE is going to make a shit ton of money, and they're not going to have to worry. Well, I don't know if they're going to have to worry about ratings. They don't worry about ratings right now. I can tell you that, because
they definitely
ratings right now are the worst they've ever been in the history of wrestling. And you can attribute some of that to, people watching on Hulu the next day or what. I don't know how all that factors into ratings. I don't work at Best Buy. I don't know technology.
Yeah, I mean, that's just nobody cares about. Why would we know something on that? That's like for the serfs outside the castle know that. We don't need to do that.
Yeah, I'm too busy cracking beers and fucking pussy.
Speaking.
I don't even know what the point is. I was just thinking about how mad my girlfriend's going to be when she hears that part of the podcast.
Yeah, just fucking and yelling.
But yeah, so WWE's deal is huge because it's going to impact signings. It's going to impact guys who want to leave and guys who are coming in. And it's going to give WWE that much money to do more things that they want to do. And I think, it's going to affect indie wrestling, which All Elite Wrestling is going to affect indie wrestling too. All these guys are going to get signed.
Yeah, they're all going to get signed. Do you see Ring of Honor and Impact kind of flaming out?
So Ring of Honor is making plays right now. They, they obviously lost all these elite guys. They still have the New Japan deal for now. They signed PCO, who's kind of a big attraction. They signed Brody King, who was big on the indie scene. They signed Roosh, if you're of Latino descent, Rush, if you talk like Jamie, from CMLL. He actually got the biggest Ring of Honor contract of all time. And
Yeah.
they just signed Dragon Lee, who's a big guy in Mexico.
Yeah, he's a great wrestler.
So they're signing independent talent, but I think at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, Ring of Honor and New Japan's deal is up after the Madison Square Garden show, WrestleMania week.
Yeah. In May, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right into April, yeah.
And I think there's going to be some reevaluating because Jericho's with All Elite Wrestling. New Japan wants to work with Jericho.
Yep.
Kenny Omega is all but signed to All Elite Wrestling. He's still a free agent, but, I mean, all indications point to him going there. New Japan's going to want to work with Kenny Omega still. So I'm not saying that All Elite and New Japan are going to work a deal together, but I'm saying that I don't think New Japan is going to sign an exclusive deal with anyone.
No, they're not. Because I see All Elite being the thing where those guys, I mean, there's no way Kenny Omega signs with All Elite if they tell him he can't wrestle in Japan. Because Kenny loves going to Japan. He loves Japan. So like, they're going to have to work together to do it. And there's no way New Japan fades out anyway. Wrestling is just too popular over there. There'll always be guys. It's just, there's no way it just flames out.
Yeah. I mean, I know for a fact that Jericho's contract does say he can work with New Japan. He can work on New Japan shows. So I assume Kenny Omega is going to get that same deal. And look, I think Ring of Honor is always going to – the thing about Ring of Honor is they're where they are. They've always been at that spot, and they're okay at that spot.
Yep.
I think this landscape with WWE and All Elite, I think ROH is just – they're not going to grow. They're going to stay where they are.
And they have a pretty serious following, a pretty devout following, right?
Yeah.
Like the same guys
that
watch All Elite are going to watch Ring of Honor.
Yeah, they have a hardcore base who's not going to go anywhere. And I think Ring of Honor is going to be Ring of Honor, and they're going to be fine where they are. They're not going to grow. If people want to see Ring of Honor on a bigger scale, I don't think that's going to happen now. But they're going to be fine. I think Impact is in a lot of trouble.
With like all the money that WWE is making right now, what do you think? Do you see them buying? Because explain to me about Impact. So Impact they already tried to merge with All Elite, try to sell to them, and All Elite said no.
So yeah, the rumor is that Impact met with All Elite and they wanted to merge. They basically have All Elite buy Impact,
which is take on all their debt probably and pay all the wrestlers because I'm sure that
take
Impact
on all their talent, cut who they want, and then get the video library, all of that, all the rights. It's not All Elite's basically said we want to start from scratch. We want to do our own thing.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be
because they have enough buzz to where they can do that. Now, does that mean that Impact's in trouble and they're begging to sell? I don't think so. I think they were trying to jump on board of a fast-moving train.
Yeah,
I think that Impact can't get a TV deal, and it's going to crush their. I mean, I think. I heard Xbox say it on his podcast. Impact just has such a negativity to it now because it's tried to rebrand itself so many times and failed so many times that it's just too far gone. And
it's like that corner store that that store on the corner that's been 8 different businesses, and you're like, why do people even go in there? And like, why would a new business?
You talking about Leroy's?
Yeah, Leroy's Grocery. Is that still there?
Yeah,
it's still there.
I think it's still there, but I don't think it's called Leroy's Grocery.
It's not. It's called something dumb.
But yeah, so Impact, I don't see Impact lasting very long. What I see for Impact is selling the video library to the network, and they're going to be
which I'm 100% okay with that because watching old TNA on YouTube sucks. Like I would love to go back and watch a lot of that. The first 4 years of TNA because it was actually really good.
Yeah, well, if you weren't a cheap son of a bitch, you could buy the Global Force Network or whatever that shit's called. They have all the old TNA on there.
Wait, we're not subscribed to that and all the shit?
No, I'm not subscribed to that because I think I did a free trial and I just wasn't into it. But no, we're not subscribed to that. It might be a good idea. It's also, I don't think it's that easy to watch. They don't have many platform options right now.
Yeah. I could see that. It's probably like available on, I don't know, 3DO or Sega Saturn.
Yeah, I think
probably.
you can only watch it on Sega Saturn.
They mail you the CD and you put it in on Sega CD and that's it.
So wrestling's going to be 2019 is going to be very important in the history. It's probably the most important year in the history of wrestling if you look at everything that's going on.
Well, when it first happened, I'm texting you and I'm like, this is bigger than, Luger showing up on Nitro. Cause like it just kind of feels that way. Like just this announcement just feels like wrestling's already, once they announce that, like I feel like wrestling has already changed.
I mean, it has, and it's so I feel like it's going to, if you're a fan of independent wrestling and you like going to all these small shows, it's bad for you because all these guys are going to be signed up to exclusive offers and they're not going to be at these small shows anymore.
Nope. Yeah, they're not going to be able to show up at 3 or 4 shows.
If you're a fan of the boys, if you're a fan of wrestlers making money, I mean, wrestlers are going to start making crazy money because All Elite has all this money to offer. I live in downtown. It's police. There's probably, who knows what's going on down there. There's always sirens and train horns and all kind of goddamn shit going on over here.
Well, who knows what's being trafficked into your area with you not being
able to work
right
down,
now,
brother.
so.
I'm already drinking beer. But, yeah, so these guys are going to make crazy money. And let's say All Elite never happened. You're anybody who works for WWE, they're going to offer you what they're going to offer you, and you can take it or you can hit the road. They don't give a fuck. Yeah. Now here's All Elite Wrestling, all this buzz, all this money, all this opportunity. You're AJ Styles, you're Adam Cole, you're whoever. Your contract's coming up. You have leverage to say. Now, I think AJ Styles 100% would stay in WWE. He's not going to go anywhere. But he has leverage to say, hey, I have options. So here's what I want. Same with Adam Cole. I don't think Adam Cole wants to leave. He's in a good position right now, but he's got options. All these guys have options. And even if you're not a bigger guy like that, if you're a small-time guy and All Elite and WWE are signing everybody, then Impact's going to offer you a good contract. ROH is going to offer you a good contract. They're going to scoop you up as a lower tier guy for a 1 or 2 year deal. You're going to be able to work there and work your way up. Everyone's going to be getting all these great opportunities, and it's going to make wrestling better.
It's going to make wrestling a lot better. And I mean, I agree with you. I don't see AJ Styles going anywhere.
No, with Roman Reigns dead, he's basically the most popular wrestler in wrestling. What the hell is going on over there?
Yeah.
What was that? I want to leave that in the podcast. Your phone, it sounded like you got abducted by aliens for a minute.
I don't know. I was just dying laughing. But yeah, AJ, I mean, he's at the end of his career. And if you think about it, guys like AJ, Samoa Joe, they're going to go to WWE. They're going to work there 4 or 5 years. They're going to make their money. They're going to get their Hall of Fame deal. They're going to get their Legends contract. And then that's their retirement plan, right? Like, I don't see why they would do anything else.
I mean, let's say
unless they have as much money as we do.
Yeah, AJ probably has as much money as I do. He might. Let's say that 3 years from now, looking into a crystal ball, All Elite Wrestling has a TV deal with TNT. And they're competing with Raw every Monday night. And it's basically a ratings war. It's they're crushing Raw in the ratings. AJ's contract comes up. He might be interested in having some fun in All Elite for a little while. But let's say AJ's contract is up this year. He's not going to a startup company, no matter how much buzz it has, when he's the most popular wrestler in the biggest wrestling company in the world.
Yeah. There's no way. There's no way. I don't see Samoa Joe leaving either. I'm sure his contract's coming up soon.
No, I don't see anyone leaving in a good position. Like Styles wouldn't leave, Joe wouldn't leave, Daniel Bryan wouldn't leave, Adam Cole wouldn't leave.
No. I mean, who are you thinking? Like, I mean, we're looking at maybe Anderson.
I think Anderson Gallows would benefit from leaving. I mean, the if you hear Carl Anderson talk, he loves being in WWE, but that might just be public talk. They would benefit from leaving. I think a guy like Zack Ryder would benefit from leaving. I think a guy like Maria and Mike Kanellis asked for their release. They didn't.
Yes,
they would benefit.
I saw that. What do you think about Ziggler? Ziggler's a WWE for life guy. If he hasn't left,
so I think Ziggler would benefit from leaving, but I think Ziggler wants to do non-wrestling stuff. I think he wants to act and he wants to do stand-up comedy, and I don't think he's interested in wrestling anymore on a full basis. So I think he's going to stay in WWE. I think obviously everyone wants to see the Revival versus the Young Bucks, and last week after Monday Night Raw, the Revival asked for their release. They're not going to get it, obviously. But they also asked to go back to NXT, which is interesting. But here's the other thing about all this. So people who aren't happy with their role, Mike Kanellis, the Revival, Sasha Banks, who was kind of unhappy with her role a lot on Twitter. You're going to go to the people in charge, and they're not going to be like, we don't give a fuck, this is what you do. They're going to want to make you happy because they're going to want you to stay in WWE because you have options. So
and they don't want to start losing people. I don't think it would hurt WWE at all if they just lost a bunch of people to AEW right now, but they don't want to have to deal with that shit, especially.
I just don't think it's a coincidence that Finn Balor is working the main event at Rumble, that Sasha is working Ronda Rousey, that the Revival is getting a push now, that Andrade is getting 30-minute matches. Like, all these people who aren't happy with their roles are all of a sudden getting these spots that they want. I mean, that's not a coincidence.
Yeah, and it's going to force them to really actually push your guys that are popping up from NXT that are super over, that are going to be over on the card. Your Aleister Blacks of the world too,
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun year, and we're going to be here giving you the week by week news, breaking everything down for you, like we just did. Like we just broke down a year in 30 minutes. Jamie, real quick as we wrap this up, what are you most looking forward to in 2018? Give me 2 predictions on what's going to happen that you're really excited about. Yeah, that's what
you mean. 2019. I mean, the first thing I'm excited about is to see what Kenny Omega does. He's my favorite wrestler in the world. We like the same movies. We watch the same TV shows. We wrestle a lot, and he's my favorite wrestler right now. But word on the street is,
for those who don't know, though, Jamie in a lot of circles is known as Fat Kenny Omega because he looks like Kenny Omega if Kenny Omega, didn't take care of himself and didn't give a fuck about his life. Yeah,
thanks. That was nice. We both look up to Roadkill. Apparently, Roadkill was big for Kenny when he was growing up. So that's huge. I'm anxious to see where he has the sign. I want to see what he does. Double or Nothing is going to be huge for me, but I'm also anxious to tune in to WWE. I don't know, the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania months are kind of lame these days. It's kind of the same old bullshit. But after WrestleMania, I'm anxious to see what happens in WWE. Who takes the ball and runs with it, with Cena and Lesnar and a lot of these guys not being in the picture anymore. I'm anxious to see what they do with the Rollins.
So obviously,
what about you?
I'm interested to see where All Elite Wrestling goes, what kind of TV deal they get. how that works out. That's going to be exciting. I'm excited to see where all these other companies go. New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact, how they react to this. You know, it's a sink or swim situation. And I'm also interested to see how WWE reacts to it. If you know me at all personally, you know that I'm not a fan of WWE right now. I don't watch it. I mean, I'll say it right now. I read recaps and I watch highlight videos, but I'm not going to spend 3 hours of my life watching Raw when it's shit television. So
yeah, it's all backstage segments.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste my time
no
with
finishes,
bullshit. So I don't watch Raw. I don't watch SmackDown. I don't watch the pay-per-views. I just read recaps on them and listen to people's analysis. But I'm interested to see with everything that's going on, how if they change, if they can get more creative, if they can make a better show, if they even care about doing that. I mean, I think they start on Fox in October, and I think once they start on Fox, Fox is going to want to see results. I feel like so. Hopefully, they can do something with that.
Yeah, make it a little more competitive. I don't know. It's 2019 is. I haven't been more excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy, fun year that we are going to be with you each and every week, letting you know what's going on.
Yeah, we will be in your living room.
We will be
literally.
Yeah, we'll
literally with your wives and
exactly
girlfriends.
where and how we want them. We will be in your liquor cabinet. We will be on your couch.
We'll be eating the food that you make for your children.
Straight off
taking
their
food off their plate.
So it's going to be exciting. Yeah. It's going to be fun. And we're going to be breaking down the big news of the week every week. Like I said, we're going to be doing fun segments when able. We're going to be doing review shows of old pay-per-views, of old weekly shows that are on WWE Network. And I think we covered everything. I think, well, we can do, if you want, real quick, just for everyone.
We can.
Maybe since the Royal Rumble is next week, maybe we can give a little Royal Rumble breakdown.
Yeah, I'd like to give it a little Royal Rumble breakdown. Maybe a little talk on Ross Mean Gene.
I don't even know how I forgot to bring that up, but
maybe we can put a little sadness in for 5 minutes and talk about. So what do you think about Roman Reigns?
So Roman Reigns, and I think if you know me, you know that I'm not a Roman Reigns hater. I hate the position that they put him in sometimes, but, overall I think Roman Reigns is good at what he does, and I feel bad for him. Anybody who gets leukemia, that's terrible, but anyone who can't do what they want to do for a living when they're that talented at it, it's a very, very sad situation. I feel very bad for him. I hope he's able to come back. I hope he's able to recover from it. He was my girl's favorite wrestler. She doesn't even watch wrestling, but she's obsessed with Roman Reigns. So hopefully he can come back. And, I think when he does eventually come back, the break will be good for him because I don't think he'll receive as much hate.
No, it is a shame to see someone get held back and taken away from the thing that they love. When it's not their fault, it's not like he went out and fucked it up. But I will say the one thing that it showed me, and time again, I tell people this every day, like he went out to make that announcement. We had no idea that was coming. He says, he announced it. He tells everybody he's got leukemia. Everybody went from booing him and chanting against him to immediately crowd silence, and then everybody immediately cheered.
Well, it's because God is not because than Vince McMahon right now.
God is a better booker than Vince McMahon, but it just shows you the one thing you can learn from this, besides leukemia probably sucks, is wrestling fans are the most loyal fans in the world. They're more loyal than fucking baseball fans, soccer fans. Wrestling fans they will go through what you're going through with you. Like whether they love you, hate you, no matter what, if you're a wrestler at the end of the day, they're going to support you outside of the business. Those fans are going to love you. They can boo you your whole life, run into you, boo you. And if something like you're going through something or something's wrong and they see it, they're going to support you. They're going to cheer for you at the end. Does that make sense? Like, no, there's no more loyal fan
Absolutely.
base
I've been a wrestling
wrestlers,
fan for
wrestling
34
fans.
years, and you will never see anything like when a wrestling fan meets a pro wrestler. Example, this past weekend, I went to a comedy show that was headlined by Mick Foley. Okay, we show up at this bar. It's the shadiest bar I've ever been to in Miami. It's a shithole. And there's maybe 30 people in there, maybe. And Mick Foley comes up, and people are chanting Foley. People are lined up to meet him. He sits there and talks to each and every individual person, and they talk about how, you know, their whole lives they grew up with this guy. They're so thankful to just spend 5 minutes with him. It's crazy how loyal fans are, and I think, like I said, this is going to be really good for Roman Reigns.
Yep. It's going to be good for him. It's going to kind of wipe out. I think they can come back and push him as a monster.
Yeah, and I think
like as an overcomer. And
I think this should be a lesson to all young wrestlers. If you want to get over in this business and you want to be popular, get cancer. Yeah.
And defeat it.
That's going to be a big,
It's not defeated.
If he doesn't defeat it, I don't think he's going to get over, but
I don't think he'll be over either. I think he'll be under. I think he'll be under. Yeah, but
right.
Technically he'll be under. Speaking of being under, a good friend of ours in the broadcasting business and interviewing business passed away recently. Mean Gene Okerlund. Buck,
so Mean Gene dying is rough for me because I can tell you right now, and I'll guarantee you, you will never see another Mean Gene Okerlund ever again. He was one of a kind.
Ever.
And when you look back, when I look back on my life watching professional wrestling, anything that had to do when I was a kid watching Hulk Hogan, Mean Gene is in that image. When I was a teenager, anything watching WCW wrestling, Mean Gene was interviewing Ric Flair. Mean Gene was interviewing Hulk Hogan. I mean, some of the biggest moments in wrestling history Mean Gene was a part of with that microphone. He was hilarious. He was legendary, and we'll never see anything like it again. It's heartbreaking. He's a one-of-a-kind legend. Rest in peace.
Yeah, and I think I never post on Facebook unless if I'm blacked out or a wrestler dies. And when I'm blacked out, I usually post Stallone montages. But I posted about Mean Gene. For me, not only what you said, like Mean Gene was there for the biggest parts of our life. And I think my exact words were, I said, he went from training and interviewing with Hulk Hogan, or, training with Hulk Hogan and interviewing him at Bash of the Beach 96. Like, so he was there through Hulk Hogan's entire career. But the one thing that Mean Gene can do that a lot of other announcers and interviewers can't do is he can put wrestlers over just by interviewing him, just by the way he acted. Like, I was watching Royal Rumble 92, and the Bushwhackers manager was chewing on his tie, and Mean Gene just reached up and ripped it out of his mouth during the interview. And then there's interviews where he takes cigarettes away from people, and then there's interviews where he like acts shocked and surprised. But he is one of the few talents that had understanding of the business that no one else has ever came close to having. Like, as far as an interviewer goes, like just a head nod or in a reaction to Savage or Warrior. Like, he made Ultimate Warrior look crazier than he was, and that was almost impossible. So I don't know. Him dying is hard.
He did something that even in 2018 that they can't do on TV, and that's bring Hulk Hogan back and get Hulk Hogan cheered. So he's fucking amazing at
Yeah.
everything he does, and he's going to be missed. And it was a hard. I'll admit, it was a hard one to deal with.
Yeah, best stick in the history of the business.
Oh, by far, yeah. And
yeah, okay. And I hope you're able to, when you work out with Pat Patterson, I hope you're able to just play
I actually
cards
saw
with him
Pat
one day.
Patterson in the gym today, and I couldn't even bring myself to go talk to him. It's too soon. Well, he
needs you.
Like
he needs you.
Yeah, it was too soon. It was too soon. I hope he's dealing with everything okay. But yeah, rest in peace, Mean Gene. You're one of a kind. We're running out of time here. Real quick, Royal Rumble preview. I'll let you know it's going to be a piece of shit show, but give me 3 things, 3 predictions right now, Jamie. Royal Rumble.
3 predictions. Finn Balor will not win.
Yeah, that's the most obvious prediction of all time.
Yeah. Shelton Benjamin will be in the Royal Rumble. I'm calling it right now. You heard it here first.
By the way, Jamie has called Shelton Benjamin in the Royal Rumble for the past 15 years.
Yep. And my 3rd prediction is I will be taking a shit during the Women's Royal Rumble.
My 3 predictions. Number 1, Seth Rollins will win the Royal Rumble. Number 2.
I agree.
Yeah. Number 2.
No brainer.
The Royal Rumble's women's match will be a complete shit show that will be talked the next day about the most historic night in professional wrestling.
Yeah, do you think how many botches will happen?
Last year
there was
14 of the eliminations,
botches.
the girls eliminated themselves. So, since I doubt any of those women grew, I would expect the same situation this year.
Yeah, and especially with it being so fresh and popular, like how many spots, like how many surprise entries? You know, people who can't wrestle, who are like old and older, I guess they could still wrestle.
And I'm not afraid to say, listen,
you know, they're rough.
There's a lot of amazing female wrestlers in the world. Charlotte is amazing. Ronda, Ronda isn't that great.
Becky Lynch,
but
awesome.
Charlotte's amazing. Becky Lynch is amazing. Sasha's amazing. There's great female wrestlers out there.
Yeah, Paige makes great videos.
But I'll tell you this right now. I'm not afraid to say it publicly. The women's Royal Rumble match will be a complete shit show. And I'll probably watch it because it's a complete shit show and it'll be hilarious.
Yeah, it'll be absolutely hilarious to laugh at, because who knows?
I mean,
how many?
That's a good prediction. Let's say it right now. I'm going to go with 18. Yeah.
18 just straight botches. And do you consider a botch a punch that's thrown that obviously
and I also consider
land?
a botch if any of the women have to stand on the first or second rope to be thrown out.
Yeah, because that's what happened. That's a botch. Yep.
18.
So you're saying 18 or 15? 18. I'm going to say 21.
We'll count those up and see who's closer, which that's a pretty close number anyways, but we'll see who got it right next week. Let me give my third prediction. I said Seth Rollins is going to win. I said the women's show is going to be a complete shit show. Number 3, Brock Lesnar will have the best match he's had in a long time. He performs really well with smaller guys. Yeah, he does great with small guys.
Did great with
I think
Daniel
him
Bryan.
and Finn Balor are going to have a fun match. That's going to be worth watching. If I want to do anything, I'm going to watch the women's match and die laughing about women trying to be as good as men. I'm going to watch the men's Royal Rumble, obviously, and I'm going to watch that main event. Yeah, so there you have it. There's our 5-minute Royal Rumble preview. I mean, there's no point going to the matches because they're going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's about time to wrap it up. Have you talked to
I'm glad you brought this
Roadkill
up. When
at all
I
recently?
talk to people about how we're going to be doing the podcast again, 9 out of 10 people ask me when Roadkill is going to be on the show. So I Here's a secret. I
Oh,
am one of Roadkill's biggest fans. I don't get a chance to talk to him that often. I know you and Roadkill are closer than me and Roadkill are. I haven't talked to him in a couple of months. He's been off the grid. I know that. Have you talked to Roadkill about coming on the show?
well, I sent him the trailer because I don't bother him. I don't want to bother him. He doesn't get cell service anyway unless he's in town. So I usually don't. I don't bother him too much. I send him a text here and there. If he gets back to me, he gets back to me. He always does. It takes time sometimes, but I sent him the trailer and he actually called me. Super excited for the show. Said he told a couple buddies about it. He would like. He actually asked me if he could come on it. He said he's in great shape and he's really been thinking about making a comeback in 2019 with all that's going on. Said he started slimming down a little bit. He's been carrying a lot of logs from one spot in the forest to another spot, and then carrying them back to the spot they originally were, just to get a little workout. But yeah, he's pretty excited about 2019. He sounded happier than he has in the past. So he wants to be on the show. I think we need to pick the time right. I'll talk to him. I'll see. You know how he is about interviews, but I'll see how his year's shaping up. I think he's looking at AEW.
Yeah,
I don't know.
People love when we have Roadkill on the show. Roadkill's an off the grid guy. He's not somebody who's on his phone all day. He's not texting. He's not Instagramming. He's not tweeting.
No. No, he doesn't do Snapshot. He doesn't do.
He's not on his friends. Nintendo all day.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't do any of that stuff. He does real stuff like, build log cabins and fish, catch his own food and grow his own food and make pelts for the community. I guess he had just got done taking every animal he killed last year. He doesn't use guns. He traps animals and kills them with his bare hands, or he kills them with bow and arrows. But every animal he killed, he made into pelts and jackets and took them all to the soup kitchens. So that's pretty good for him. But he's excited to be on it. I mean, rumor has it AHW announced to come back too. So he was talking about that.
Guess what? I don't care about more than the Women's Royal Rumble match is an AHW comeback.
Yeah, have you even? I mean, Roadkill's doing all this stuff, working out again. Have you even heard what Super
probably on the
doing?
toilet.
Do you know where he is? Still non-existent, right? I haven't heard from Super Puff in 9 years. 9-10 years. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, we're gonna.
Anyway, who cares?
I guarantee you. We just don't know when. I know the requests are coming in from all over the world. They want to hear from Roadkill. We'll definitely have them on. We can promise you that. We can promise you news every week. We can promise you that we're going to cover old shows. If you have any requests for an old show that you want us to review, please let us know. Also, listen, this is our first time recording on this app. I'm not going to be able to edit it down like I want. I can already tell you that. I know we were all over the place tonight. We had a format that we basically didn't follow. Yeah, it's a work in progress. Bear with us. If you have any ideas or anything, any feedback, please hit us up. We're on Instagram, Mega Power Hour 2.0. We're on YouTube, which I don't even know how to get these on YouTube, so I don't know how long that YouTube page is going to last. Jamie's supposed to be setting up a Facebook page, so 3 years from now we might have that.
Oh, yeah, I set up a Facebook page that said the name. It said it was already taken.
We're going to work that out. We're probably going to be on Twitter eventually, but for now, Instagram, Mega Power Hour 2.0. 2.0. Remember that. And yeah, we're so happy to be back and doing this. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, thank you for taking this journey with us. We're going to be here every week. This has been a lot of fun. Jamie, closing thoughts.
I just want to apologize out there to all the men if their wives or girlfriends listening to this and accidentally got pregnant during the show.
that goes without saying that someone creamed over the last hour.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. We hit an hour. Thank you for listening so much. We're going to be here. 2019 is going to be a big year. We're out.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.